Hello, and welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. This time discussing the Seventh Doctor Adventures, Sullivan and Cross, AWOL. Now, when we were younger, remember when we were young? We shone like the sun. Sorry. When we were young, we had Doctor Who available on VHS. They were being released, and we were all very happy about that. Now, they weren't released in order, very much like the Blu-ray box sets are being released. So we all got very excited, but we weren't really kind of following on. We watched stuff almost randomly, especially those of us who couldn't remember the original stories. So these are kind of reminiscent of that, because we don't know. We've never heard the story where Harry Sullivan is taken from the 70s with Naomi Cross, travel with, we're assuming, the Fourth Doctor, and then are left on Earth. We've heard the stories that come after that, and this is one of those. This one's a Seventh Doctor box set. Now, we often get asked, what's an ideal jumping on point? Well, this is an ideal jumping on point. Seriously. You've got two cracking stories, because, let's face it, the monthly range is gone. I need to just let that go. But now we're dealing with what would be, if you still collected such things, and let's face it, some people still do, a 3-disc set. You do feel like you're getting more bang for your buck. You've got 3 discs, two stories, so one's a 4-parter, one's a 2-parter, and these are set after stories we just haven't heard. Now, the guy who played Harry originally is no longer with us. Ian Marter's gone. But we have a new Harry. A Harry that's been hanging around with Sarah Jane, our new Sarah Jane, and has produced some great stuff. But we had this Harry, this 70s Harry who's living in the now, wherever now really is, appearing in these storylines. Naomi's more of a wild card because she's a brand new bigfinish character, but she is from the 70s and has travelled with the Doctor and has been abandoned, just like Sarah Jane was, where it definitely wasn't Croydon. It makes sense, yeah? We haven't had those stories. So just like watching the VHS, we're familiar with the characters, we know what's going on, and we know where it's going, we know where we're at now as we watch these stories or listen to them. But we don't know what the gap is. We'll get round to it. I'm sure those have been either recorded or they exist in some form or another. So, the Seventh Doctor Adventures, Sullivan and Cross, Sullivan, Harry Sullivan, Naomi Cross, AWOL, absent without leave, makes total sense. Let's read the synopsis. Sometimes a Time Lord forgets precisely where he left things. Keys, screwdrivers, companions. Harry Sullivan and Naomi Cross are stuck in the wrong time. So when the TARDIS arrives, they give up their 21st century lives to find a way home. But as they join the Doctor, a different version to any they've met before, Harry and Naomi are in for a few perilous stops along the way. Whether they end up then or now, that's part of the journey. So basically we've now got the 7th Doctor travelling with Harry, our new Harry, and Naomi. So they'll have a whole series of adventures with, we're assuming, but we don't know, the 4th Doctor. We know they've never met the 7th Doctor, and here we're presented with something great. Because these are spectacularly good. I mean, seriously, they're very, very good. There's 2 stories. London Orbital by John Dorney. It's 4 episodes. I'll read you the synopsis and then I'll talk about it because I don't want to give you spoilers. I never do. But right now I think I might need to. Long ago, a massacre in a suburban house led to the young Harry Sullivan joining unit. But the murders were never solved. Years later, Harry and Naomi Cross investigate an oddity in the London Underground and uncover a whole different side to the capital. Creatures of myth are running amok across the city in a conflict going back decades, and somewhere in the shadows lurks a new incarnation of their old friend the Doctor, and he's here to stop a war. Now, I don't want to give a spoiler, But look at the cover. Which mythical kind of creatures who might possibly appear in Lord of the Rings appear in this picture? So, we're going to go with elves, okay? This is the most Neverlandy of Doctor Who stories. And yes, we've got the fact that the Doctor was in The Hobbit, never ever referred to, but he does definitely quote Gandalf at one point, and God, it's glorious. You've got a parallel Earth. It fits so well with your Arthurian legend end of Doctor time, and it works brilliantly with the Seventh Doctor. It just does. I absolutely adored this story. Because going in, I was thinking, oh yeah, I know where we're going with this. No, it's great. And Harry and Naomi are given so much screen time, and the Doctor is kind of in the background on this one, to such an extent that you really do learn to love these two new and yet old characters. I loved this story. The whole parallel Earth thing seeping into our consciousness thing, it just worked, and it's so well thought out and delivered. So much so that part of me wants to just do this as a GURPS campaign, genuinely. So that's story 1, 4 episodes long. Story 2, 2 episodes long, contains some of the single best descriptions of Daleks ever made. The fact that it's a Dalek story, well, that's not really that much of a giveaway because it's called Scream of the Daleks. Halloween 1969, the Doctor, Harry and Naomi respond to a scream for rescue. They find that people have been dying on the same spot in this year across millennia, but in their bid to stop the nightmare, the travellers have unleashed the Doctor's old enemies. There might be one cry better left unanswered. Now, everyone likes a Dalek story. We do. We just push overs for this sort of thing. And this is a very, very good example. Are they Time War Daleks? Are they Daleks from their first experiments in time? Does it matter? Not really. What matters is that when Doctor Who set out to do historical stories, we were given the chance to be educated, to learn. And we do here. We get to experience what Halloween is like literally across the millennia. In and out, popping here and popping there, just so we can learn out what Halloween appears to be like across time. So well delivered. You can feel yourself learning without feeling that you're learning. For someone at the goth end of things like me, I love this sort of thing, and I love Halloween. I do. So when we're presented with a great and cracking story that's got some good 1960s stuff going on, as well as the Daleks, and as well as, well, let me see, I don't even want to give spoiling any more than that, but let's face it, Halloween, yeah, not scary, but scary. Oh, I don't want to spoil it. What I want to say is, this is brilliant. Fantastic box set. Look, I'll shut up now. I've rambled too long. What I need to say is, have a listen to the trailer. I won't even say decide for yourself, because if you don't get this, you're mad. Seriously brilliant. So, until next time, be seeing you.
There's a vast wealth of history under London. This is just another part.
From Bigfinish Productions, The Seventh Doctor Adventures, Sullivan and Cross, AWOL.
Harry Sullivan!
Doctor?
Doctor?
Naomi! My, this is turning into quite a reunion.
Elves? You're saying these creatures are elves?
In human terms, I believe you would call me the Elf King of London.
And given that, what exactly are we doing here? I think we found our missing monsters.
You judge us by our looks, Harry Sullivan.
You feel it too. They always said the station was haunted.
Haunted? Don't be soft.
Not all of our people were as lucky. I hope these creatures of yours are worth the cost.
Oh, they are, Your Highness. I promise you.
Looks like we're surrounded.
They were herding us into a trap.
What is that thing?
Glowing eyes! Demonic! Could be anything!
Well, it's not a kitten.
Could be a demonic kitten!
It's in my head. My head gets stuck.
You will release him!
Who dares?
I have in my hand the sigil of Dorney.
The call has been made! Sound the retreat!
love of stories.
You're not going to help them.
Oh, Naomi, I fear I already have.